All right, picking up where we left off here. We were talking about, or we had just sort of blown off the EIP register because it's never something that we're going to mess with, or at least that I'm going to mess with in this series. Then you have the stack register. ESP holds the current stack position in memory. More about this in one of the next tutorials. EBP is used in functions as pointer to the local variables. These are useful registers, but are generally very hard to or I don't want to say very hard, but are generally hard to understand because they build on the idea of the stack and the heap. And until we dive even deeper into memory management and how it's done by the OS, we sort of have purposely pretended that the stack and the heap are the same thing, and there's some infinite pool of memory out there, or not even infinite, but we have sort of pretended that there's just some huge block of memory out there, i.e. the computer's RAM. All we have to do is just say, hey, I need memory, and then just poof, we instantly get memory from the operating system, and it's not really that simple. You have the stack, you have the heap, things like that, and it complicates things to an as of yet unnecessary level. And so until we are absolutely required to jump even deeper into that, we're not going to. And that's it. Memory. How is the memory used within assembly and the layout of it? Hopefully this will answer some questions. Bear in mind there is more advanced things than what is explained here, but hell, you lot aren't advanced, so start from the basics. Wow, can you be any more condescending? Let's look at the different types. I could care less about DOS, frankly. Windows. All right, so let's talk about why we're glazing over this DOS 16-bit segment, things like that. Every cheat engine installation comes with this help file, so you're certainly free to just open it up, read it on your own time, and then come back and flame me for why I'm not talking about, memory management in Win 3.1 and things like that. But unless you are hacking on Commander Keen or something like that, you will probably never have to ever give a crap that there's anything smaller than a 32-bit register. There will come some occasional times where you'll see some stuff being moved into registers like AX or go up here BX, CX, DX, things like that. But for the most part, you will run 32-bit operating systems and you will run 32-bit applications. And even if you're running 64-bit, they're still 32-bit for all sort of intents and purposes. So that's why we're glazing over that stuff, because it's unnecessarily complicating an already unnecessarily complicated topic. And if you're interested in complicating it even further, then you can go back and you can read this whole segment, and then you can jump onto Wikipedia and you can, type in, I don't know, You could go search for computer architecture or processors, or you could, better yet, you could probably search for CPU. We don't even have. We'll just click there. CPU. You get some crazy huge article. Oh, look at all that. ALUs, yada. Look at all that text. Digital implementation, parallelism, thread level, data, performance. You could spend probably the rest of your whole life clicking on links, clock gating. What the hell is clock gating? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I guess I kind of know if I had to think about it, but I don't care what clock gating is because I'm not an electrical engineer. So if that's your bag, as Austin Powers would say, then here's your jumping off point. Go to this article, click on every link in this article, read everything, and you'll probably not understand a damn thing. Or maybe you will, but that's not what we're here to do. So again, I'm not trying to be insulting in any way, but I mean, you have to draw the line at some point that, is it necessary for us to go over 16-bit registers? No, because on a practical level, you're never going to deal with them. And in the event that you do, it's not so different than 32-bit registers because we've already talked about stuffing values that are too large into too small of a data type. And that's essentially what this whole thing is talking about. There's flat memory and things like that, but again, read it if you want, but up to this point, it's not required. So let's go on. Opcodes. Here's a few lists of opcodes you will notice a lot. I'm not reading through this, as you can tell, in advance. We're just sort of going through it. And say this instruction, the move instruction, is used to move or copy, if you want to be pedantic, a value from one place to another. The place can be a register, a memory location, or an immediate value, only as a source value, of course. Now, this is an incredibly important distinction right here, because if you start trying to... The definition of an immediate value is somewhat unobvious, but when you... what's the best way to put it? It becomes important when you deal with... Let's see if he actually... let's see, size and source of destination should be the same. This is not valid. Tries to put the double word into the byte. Source and destination different size with an offset. Yep. All right, we talked about that. Immediate numbers are allowed as a source. Let's go back up here. Only as a source value, of course. So it would not make sense, down here you have move. You have the... We're jumping way down here, but I want to prove this point. You have move, which is the opcode. You have the register as the destination, and then you have as a source you have some literal or immediate value, 5006, which is a hex actually. Really? All right. So this is just... I don't know. This is not the most super clear help article in the world, but unless you have a background in this stuff, then I guess it makes perfect sense. But anyway, the immediate value, you have move, which is the opcode, is the destination, register, which is EDX, and then you have the source value, or the immediate value, as the case may be, which is 5006, which in decimals is... I have no idea what it is. I don't care to figure it out right now, but this will wind up in the register EDX. So then if you ever had to manipulate this value, you could just use EDX, similar to how you would a variable or things like that. So nothing, no rocket science there. Foo, indeed. Let's go down here. Good old math. I'm sure everyone can understand and subtract. Easy and supply. This video is not really shaping up to be what I had. I may actually cancel this one. This is kind of getting ridiculous. It's easy peasy, ain't it? Or is it? How, I don't know. That's not really helping. Alright. If that's basics 1, I would really hate to... I've actually used these tutorials from time to... or this help file from time to time, and specifically this one for the FPU when I need a reference on the command or the opcodes, as the case may be, and this one as well for the jumps. But does not do a good job of sort of explaining this stuff, so... I gotta take a deep breath here and think about whether I want to cancel this video and relegate it to the bit bucket, or whether I want to just let it stand and then go on from here. I wish I had a live polling system. It wouldn't matter because nobody's watching right now, but fuck it, I'm gonna cancel it, post it, and then I'm gonna pick up from here.